Doctor again, coming at you live with my G major / E minor licks. I've got basically 8 different phrases. Today, this is part 1. We're going to cover 4 simple phrases that fit this chord pattern here. The scale and the licks are all up here in the home position for E minor pentatonic or G major. So I'm up here, 12th fret, but I'm going to use the major scale, the G major scale, which is also the E minor scale, to come up with these licks. Okay, the licks themselves, again, we've got 2 bar phrases, and for this first section of my backing track, you can see I've got 2 measures of G, so there's a lick that goes here, 2 measures of D, a lick that goes there, 2 measures of A minor, a lick for that, and then we have 2 measures here with C for the first measure and D for the second, and I have a lick that addresses the C and finishes on a note that fits the D. And the trick here is I'm going to start and end each of these licks on a chord tone. So I think first thing I'm going to do is let me just fire the track up, and I'm going to play through the first section, which goes twice, and I'll play all 4 licks. They're very simple, but they follow the chords. So we're not just like layering a bunch of notes and hoping that they work, you know. So just because you know where the scale is, if you don't have licks that are tailored for the chords, it's really not going to sound that good. So we're trying to avoid that. I'm trying to show you how to do it so you don't sound like a dummy. All right, let me fire this thing up. This big, giant, scary-looking scale. So what I have here is G major and E minor pentatonic, basically lining up with that, G major and E minor diatonic. We've got 8 notes in this scale from start to end. Now, look at it, though. I've got the E minor pentatonic right inside it. It's part of the same scale. So, take a look. On the top 3 strings, I've got 3 notes. Now, I'm not using them in this video, but you should learn it. Take a look. 10, 12, and 14. On the E, 10, 12, and 14 on the A, 10, 12, and 14 on the G. Then when I get on the D, sorry, 10, 12, 14 on the D. When I get to the G, it's 11, 12, 14. When I get to the B, it's 12, 13, 15, and the high E is 12, 14, and 15. So here, let me play it slow. Look at the fingering. Look at this. Top string. I'm using my index finger, my flip-off finger, and my pinky. There's a lot of that going on. 10, 12, 14, top string. 10, 12, 14 on the A. 10, 12, 14 on the D. I'm using my rhythm pickup, by the way. And then 11, 12, 14 on the G. Now I have to shift my hand up to get the last series of notes. So I'm going to the B, 12, 13, 15, and then the high E, 12, 14, 15. Now I'm not going to outline things you can do to practice that, but you can start, by going from low to high, high to low. You could use sequences. I'm not going to talk about that today, but you should know that scale and realize also that it contains, you know what? The G major, pentatonic, E minor, they're all, in my mind, all one thing. All right, enough about that. Now, for the D, I had this. What did I do there? Well, I started on the G string and I played 14. That's the chord tone of D. So I played 14 on the G. Then I went to the B and played 12 and 13. Back up to the G, 14. Then back to the B, 12, 13, 15. And and I ended on 14 on the G. So I started and ended on that A note. How did I find the A note? Well, there's a D chord right here. Any of those notes would have worked. So there's that one. The A minor one. What is this? What did I do there? Okay, here's what I did. I started on the E string 12. Then I played 15, 14, 12. Then I went down to the next string, and I went to the B string and played 15, 13, 12. And I had to get out of it with a chord tone for A, and I chose this guy, which is an E. So, what's up with that? How did I know? I started with the E too, by the way. How did I know that was going to work? Well, look at an A minor chord. The open A minor, look, we've got an open E on the high string, a C note on the B string first fret, we got an A on the G string second fret, D string's an E, open A on the A string. So the notes are A, C, E. Any of those notes will work. So that's how I came up with a starting and ending point for that one. Now let's talk about these licks. For the first two measures, I've got this little lick, a little phrase based on the scale. And it goes like this. So let me talk about what I just played. You know, in the future here, I'm gonna have I don't have the software yet, but I'm gonna get the software that allows me to put the tab on the screen. It's coming. Remember, my channel is new, really, and I'm just learning what to do, what I need to do. But I definitely want to do that for y'all. So hang in there. All right, here's the lick, note for note. On the bottom string, I've got 15, 14, 12. B string, 15, 13, 12. Well, let me do that B string again. It's 15, 12, 13. Then I go to the G, play 14, and then G string, 12. There it is. Now, what's the deal here? I said that we were going to start on a chord tone, and I did. And end on a chord tone. Both those notes were G's. Now, let's talk about that for a sec. If you don't know all your theory stuff, it's okay. You can just use this little trick. If you can at least find your notes on the guitar, look at a G chord. Look at the open position G. Let me clean this sound up. Look what notes we have on the high string. G, B on the B, open G, open D. We got a B over here on the A string second fret, and a low G here third fret. So the notes you can safely start or end the phrase on are G, B, or D. That's how you do it. In my mind, I'm just seeing that same chord 12 frets up in my mind. I don't want to play that chord up here, but look. So I started on G. And ended on G. That's the best way to hammer home a really solid phrase, is to end on a chord tone, start on a chord tone. All right. The last one's the trickiest one. The lick's easy, but I've got to address two chords for this thing to sound right. And I came up with this. So, the first little bit, that fits the C. So the notes were on the B string, I played 13 and 12, 13 again, and then 15. Then I went to the G string, and I kind of stole something from our pentatonic stuff. I played 12, 15, 12. And then the last note, now the D chord has arrived. I got to do something that fits the D, and I chose this. This is an A. And if you look at a D chord, we've got the notes D major up an A, and I forgot to talk about the C. How did I get the notes for that to start? Well, I started on a C. And if you look at the C chord and move it up 12 frets, look. There it is. That's how I got it. I wasn't thinking that much. The ending note for that one, too, was an E. If you bar a C chord up here, look, I can do it. Don't do it, though. That's how I got it. And then the D, well, we already talked about that. All right, so that's basically it. So you have to know what notes belong in a chord. You can just look at your chords and figure it out. And how else can I describe this that would be beneficial. The easiest way to learn how to do this is steal somebody else's stuff. That's why I'm making a video! Right? So, and why did I choose the 3 high strings? They seem to cut through better if you're in a band context. I'm not saying you can't play, on the lower strings, but if you want to cut through the whole band and get noticed, play the high strings! Alright. Well, I guess that's it. Now stay tuned. I haven't made the video for the second half yet, but again, it accompanies my G major, E minor backing track that I just posted. So we'll address that with the next video. All right, so it's me, the Rock Doctor. I love you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, leave me a comment, do something, help me. I love you. I'll see y'all later. Bye.